Good morning, church. Good morning. Well, it's Thanksgiving. We all had a good meal. We all counted our blessings, didn't we? We did in our house. One of the blessings that I'm thankful for in this church is for our pastor. Our pastor, Andre, he's in Brazil today, and so you get to listen to me. This is the first time that I'm doing this. The first time for me to speak ever, anywhere, so you're blessed. So I've written it all out. It's all right here. I practiced it. It's all up here. I have a second copy on my phone, and I have index cards. All for just 6 minutes. But anyway, so, we're thankful for the pastor, and I'm the grandson of a preacher. My grandfather, he knew several languages, and so they gave him 2 churches to pastor in Chicago. A German-speaking church and a Polish-speaking church. The German church was more established, and so they owned the building, and the Polish church met in the basement in a chapel, right? But when they had baptisms, they would go upstairs to the sanctuary, and they'd use the baptistry up in the main sanctuary. And that's where I was baptized as a young lad. My grandfather baptized me there in Chicago in the baptistry in the German church, but I was actually baptized into the Polish church in the basement, right? Grandfather must have been very distracted that day because he wrote the baptismal certificate out in German. And so on my baptismal certificate, you'll see Andreas Arkusinski. And so I have an affinity with our pastor because we have the same name, right? Andre, Andrew, Portuguese, English, and on my baptismal certificate in German, Andreas. So, and I was just thinking this morning, wow, we have the same initials too, AA. How about that? So anyway, so I'm thankful for that. That what they say about young men like Pastor Andre, they do great deeds. Old men like Elder Andreas, they tell good stories. I'm going to quit with the stories and let's go on with the worship service. So one of the things that you'll be thankful for is that because this is Communion Sabbath, the homily is short. And I mean to tell you, I'm very thankful for that too. So let's start with our scripture again, okay? In fact, let's start with a word of prayer. Just bow our heads. Lord, today as we open your word, please let your Holy Spirit be in this congregation. May the people that listen as we open your word, may they receive what is needed for each one individually. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. So Psalm 103. You could open that up. We have, that's right. I have it quicker. Psalm 103. This is a psalm of thanksgiving. David is listing the benefits that the Lord is providing. And what he says is, bless the Lord. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. The Lord gives us a lot of benefits, and we should not forget all of them. Like someone once said, we can't remember all his benefits, but let's not forget them all. Let's remember some of them. He forgives all your iniquities, and he heals all your diseases, who redeems your life from destruction, who crowns you with loving kindness and tender mercies, who satisfies your mouth with good things, so that your youth is renewed like the eagles. Amen. We all know that thankfulness is a good thing. I don't have to preach to you about being thankful. But let me ask you a question. Does it matter how we are thankful? In other words, should we have an inward focus or perhaps an outward focus? An outward focus would be giving thanks to others. Not only am I thankful, but I'm thankful to someone, and I live a life that expresses that gratitude outwardly. Or is it an inward experience focusing on how we've been blessed, relishing our gains and advances. Remember the song that we sang when we were children? Count your many blessings, name them one by one, right? Does it make a difference, or just being thankful? Is being thankful good enough, right? Well, you may be surprised that there is medical research on this topic, and it shows that those who are outwardly thankful and show that thankfulness gain a lot more benefit than those who are simply thankful internally. There we go. So those who are outwardly focused, this is why I wrote everything down, because if it doesn't work, I can go to my note cards and read it off. I took this from several medical published research papers. Those who are outwardly focused have a greater sense of well-being and happiness and optimism. They also have satisfaction with their lives, greater satisfaction with their lives, and they have a greater sense of feeling loved. They have greater success in achieving life's goals and a lower incidence of stress and depression. Okay? And all of this is when it's compared to those who don't express outward thankfulness. That's quite a lot of benefits you get just by saying and being thankful and expressing externally. Grateful people also have benefits of healthier lives. If you're thankful, you have a healthier life, you exercise more. Can you imagine being thankful helps you get on that treadmill? Wow. They have healthier immune responses. They have lower rates of headaches, stomach problems, and pain. And I think there's one more, isn't there? They're more alert, mentally sharp, and efficient in their activities. So thankfulness has a lot of benefits. And the kind of thankfulness that gains these benefits is the kind of thankfulness that we express externally. We live a life that where we recognize that we're thankful, or we appreciate something or someone. We have a sense of goodwill toward those to whom we are thankful, and we express our gratitude in meaningful ways. Basically, we are more valued and loved when we value and love others more, when we are thankful. So this talk is on the topic of Thanksgiving because it's the Thanksgiving weekend. Also, today we're celebrating communion. That's another thing to be thankful for. So we have a problem. We have a problem because from the day that we were born, according to the psalmist in Psalm 51, he says that we were born in sin and conceived in iniquity from the day we were conceived. It's not something we chose, but we have a terminal condition, and that is called sin. We're told in Romans that all have sinned, every one of us, from the person who's languishing on death row to the person who's maybe the head of the church. All are sinners. And we're also told in Romans that the wages of sin is death, right? If God did nothing, we would reap the wages of sin. We would all die. But God is love. God is love, and he didn't do nothing. He gave us a remedy, right? And so I have on the screen here the most beloved verse in the Bible. So why don't we all say this together, right? For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. We can be thankful to God. How many of you know the next verse? John 3:17. Thank you, Peter. That's great. I thought I had it on here right. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. That is something to be thankful for. So now we're going to go into our ordinance of humility, the foot washing service. We go to the gym. It's all set up there for men, women, and families. And then after we're done with that, we'll come back here and we'll have the communion service with the bread and the juice. Okay? Thank you.